If you've ever started a diet on a Monday and given up by Friday, I want you to hear this. Lasting weight loss usually doesn't come from dramatic overhauls. It comes from small, almost boring habits, repeated every single morning. Today, I'm walking you through 8 of them. None of them require a gym membership, an expensive meal plan, or a single supplement. They're simple, they're safe, and they work with your body instead of against it. So let's start with the easiest one of all. Habit number 1, drink a big glass of water before breakfast. Before you pour your coffee, before you touch your plate, drink about 16 ounces of plain water. That's roughly 2 standard glasses. Here's why this simple step matters. Water takes up space in your stomach, so you naturally feel a little fuller before you even take your first bite. And when you feel fuller, you tend to eat a bit less without counting calories, without forcing yourself, and without that miserable feeling of restriction. And here's the best part. Water has 0 calories. None. You can drink it freely any time of day without ever worrying that it's quietly working against your goals. This trick isn't just for breakfast either. Try it before lunch and dinner too. A glass or 2 of water before each meal can gently take the edge off your appetite, so a reasonable portion actually feels satisfying. Now, you may have heard the old advice that drinking water right before a meal is bad for you, that it interferes with digestion, and that you should wait at least 30 minutes. To date, there's no solid scientific evidence supporting that claim. For most healthy people, drinking water before or with a meal is perfectly fine. So if the opportunity is there, go ahead and drink up with confidence. And if plain water feels boring, a squeeze of fresh lemon is fine. Just skip the sugar. If remembering is the hard part, try this. Fill a glass or a water bottle the night before and leave it on your nightstand or kitchen counter. When it's the first thing you see, it becomes the first thing you do. One honest note, because I'll always be straight with you. Water is a helpful tool, not a magic solution. Drinking more of it won't melt fat on its own. No single habit will. Think of it as one small lever, easy to pull, costs you nothing, and it quietly supports everything else you're about to do. So tomorrow morning, before anything else, fill that glass. That's 1 glass of water. Now let's make the rest of your morning work for you. Habit number 2, decide what you'll snack on before you're hungry. Here's something I see all the time. Nobody plans to eat the donut in the break room or grab fries at a drive-thru. It just happens. Hunger hits in the middle of a busy afternoon, willpower is at its lowest, and whatever food is closest wins. That's not a character flaw. It's simply how our brains work when we're tired and hungry. So don't fight that battle in the moment. Win it in the morning instead. While you're having breakfast, take 30 seconds and ask yourself one question. When I get hungry today, what will I eat? Then make it real. Slice an apple into a container. Toss a small bag of almonds or walnuts into your work bag. Grab a plain yogurt, a banana, some baby carrots, or a healthy snack you've made at home. The specific food matters less than the fact that you decided ahead of time. Because when a planned snack is sitting within arm's reach, the vending machine loses most of its power. You're no longer making a willpower decision at 3 p.m. You already made that decision at 7 a.m. when your judgment was clear. Habit number 3, sneak walking into your morning routine. Notice I didn't say start an exercise program. I said sneak it in because movement you don't have to schedule is movement that actually happens. Take a look at your morning. If work or the school run is close enough, could you walk it? If you drive, could you park 10 minutes away and cover the rest on foot? If you ride the bus or the train, could you get off 1 or 2 stops early? Even the school drop-off can end with a short walk to the door. Start small. 5 minutes is a real start. Build up gradually, and as it gets easier, pick up the pace. A brisk walk where your breathing gets a little heavier, but you can still hold a conversation, does more for your body than a slow stroll. And here's why I love this habit. Exercise that lives inside your daily routine tends to stick. Regular movement isn't just about losing weight. It's one of the most important tools we have for keeping that weight off later and for protecting your heart, your joints, and even your mood over the long run. One quick note from me, doctor to viewer. If you're living with a heart condition, joint problems, or any chronic illness, or you've been inactive for a long time, start gently and check in with your own physician before ramping things up. That's not red tape. That's just the smart way to begin. 10 extra minutes of walking a day quietly adds up. Your future self will thank you. Habit number 4, take a fresh look at your morning cup. If coffee or tea is part of your morning, and for most Americans it is, relax. I'm not asking you to give it up. Coffee and tea aren't the problem. The problem is what we stir into them. A couple spoonfuls of sugar here, a flavored creamer there, maybe a sweetened latte on the way to work, and quietly, your morning cup becomes a daily delivery of extra calories before the day has even begun. And here's the honest truth about added sugar. Your body doesn't need any of it. It brings calories, but no vitamins, no minerals, no protein, nothing your body actually requires. That's exactly why the general advice in nutrition is simple. The less added sugar, the better. So start dialing it down gradually. If you take 2 sugars, go to 1 for a week or 2, then half, then try none or switch to plain milk instead of sweetened creamer. I'll be honest with you. The first week or so, your coffee might taste a little flat. That's normal. Taste buds adapt, and many people find that after a few weeks, the unsweetened version is the one they actually prefer. And one more thing about that morning cup. Watch its sidekick, the cookie, the muffin, the pastry that seems to appear next to every coffee in America. Packaged cookies and baked goods are surprisingly calorie dense. Even a small serving can pack as many calories as a full, balanced snack without keeping you full. When weight loss is the goal, let the coffee stand alone. Habit number 5, use the scale wisely. Research on self-monitoring suggests that people who track their weight regularly tend to be more successful at losing weight and keeping it off. Now, stepping on a scale doesn't burn a single calorie. What it does is keep your goal in front of you. The person who sees their number in the morning is a little more likely to take the stairs, skip the fast food, or go for that evening walk. Awareness quietly shapes behavior. If you want the most useful readings, keep the conditions consistent. Weigh yourself in the morning, after using the bathroom, before breakfast, in the same or similar clothing. Then write it down. A notebook, a calendar, or one of the many free phone apps that turn your weigh-ins into a simple graph. And here's the key. Watch the trend, not the single day. Your weight naturally bounces around from water, salt, and other everyday factors. One high morning means nothing, but if the line drifts the wrong way for a few weeks despite your best effort, that's useful information. It tells you something in the plan needs adjusting. One important caveat, and I mean this sincerely. For some people, daily weighing creates anxiety or an unhealthy focus on the number. If that sounds like you, or if you've ever struggled with disordered eating, weigh in weekly instead, or skip the scale entirely and talk with your doctor about healthier ways to measure progress. Your peace of mind is part of your health too. The scale is a compass, not a judge. It only tells you which way you're heading. Habit number 6. If exercise matters to you, let it happen before the day gets loud. Earlier, we talked about sneaking movement into your commute. This habit is different. This is your dedicated exercise, the session you actually plan. And here's the pattern I see constantly. People fully intend to work out later. Then work runs long, dinner needs cooking, the kids need help with homework, and later quietly becomes never. Not because they're lazy, because evenings belong to everyone else. Mornings, on the other hand, belong to you. So consider flipping the schedule. Get your exercise done early before the day has a chance to steal it. And the form it takes is completely up to you. A brisk walk around the block, jumping rope in the garage, a short jog, body weight moves like squats and push-ups in your living room, or lifting weights if that's your thing. The best exercise isn't the trendiest one. It's the one you'll actually repeat. 10 or 15 minutes done consistently beats an ambitious hour that only happens once a month. And there's a nice bonus. When your workout is finished by breakfast, the whole day feels different. If you end up moving again in the afternoon, a walk after dinner, a bike ride with the kids, wonderful. That's extra credit, not an obligation. Habit number 7, protect your sleep like it's part of the plan, because it is. This one surprises people. What does sleep have to do with your weight? Quite a lot, actually. Multiple studies have linked short sleep with a higher risk of carrying extra weight, and when you look at daily life, the connections start to make sense. When you're running on too little sleep, hunger tends to run louder. You may find yourself eating larger portions or craving exactly the foods that fight your goals, the salty, the fatty, the sugary. Staying up late invites the midnight snack, and a tired body makes tired choices. The workout gets skipped, cooking feels like too much, and the drive-through suddenly sounds reasonable. Stack up enough short nights, and ongoing stress can join the picture, which can work against your weight in its own ways. Sleep isn't just rest, either. While you're out, your brain stays busy handling important work, which is part of why a good night leaves you sharper, calmer, and better equipped to make healthy choices the next day. For most adults, the general recommendation is 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. So tomorrow morning, do some quick math. What time did you fall asleep, and what time did you wake up? If the number keeps coming up short, treat your bedtime routine as seriously as your diet. And one thing I genuinely want you to hear, doctor to viewer, if you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted every day no matter how long you sleep, please mention it to your physician. Those can be signs of sleep apnea, a treatable condition that's especially common in people carrying extra weight. Some of your weight loss progress happens while you're asleep. And now, habit number 8, the one I saved for last because it ties everything together. Researchers at Oxford ran a study I find genuinely encouraging. They took a group of about 100 adults carrying extra weight and split them in two. The first group had one job: step on the scale every morning. The second group did the same, but with one small addition. After weighing in, each person chose a single action for that day. Just one. Something like, today I'll only eat sitting down at the table. Today I won't eat anything after 8 p.m. Today I'll walk 10,000 steps. Today I'll meet my friend for a walk instead of coffee and pastries. They picked from a list, one item each morning, and at the end of the week they reflected on which actions helped most. 8 weeks later, the results came in. The group that only weighed themselves lost, on average, around 2 pounds. The group that weighed in and committed to one daily action lost, on average, roughly 9 pounds. Both groups made progress, but the action group lost several times more. Now, these are averages, and individual results always vary, but the lesson is powerful. Awareness plus one small commitment beats awareness alone. So here's how to borrow this for yourself. Tomorrow morning, after you step on the scale, choose one action for the day. Say it out loud or write it down. Today, no soda. Today, I take the stairs. Today, dinner ends by 8. One promise, small enough that you can't talk yourself out of it. And let me be straight with you, because you deserve honesty. One action can't cancel out everything else. If you skip the soda but eat 2 extra helpings at dinner, the math won't work in your favor. The daily action isn't a loophole, it's a focal point. Keep doing the sensible things overall, and let that one commitment sharpen your day. Before we finish, a few words I'd share with any patient sitting across from me. If you're planning major changes to your diet or exercise, especially if you're living with diabetes, heart disease, or another chronic condition, or if you're pregnant, loop in your healthcare provider first. And if you've been genuinely consistent for months and the weight still won't budge, that's not a reason for shame. It's a reason for a doctor's visit, because sometimes there's a medical piece to the puzzle worth checking. Everything you've heard today is general health education. It's here to inform you, not to replace personalized advice from your own physician. So, let's recap your new morning. A big glass of water, a snack decided in advance, a few extra minutes of walking, a less sugary cup, a quick honest weigh-in, movement before the day gets loud, a full night of sleep behind you, and one small action chosen for the day ahead. You don't need to do all 8 perfectly. Pick one small action tomorrow morning, then do it again the next day. That's how real change happens.